It's time for Reflections of Worth, where we find worth in good and bad situations. I am Miss Worth It.
I am Miss Get Up, and this is
Reflections of Worth. Good afternoon, and welcome to Reflections of Worth. This is your girl, Miss Worth It.
I'm your girl, Miss Get Up.
And we have an exciting few minutes to talk about the ultimate life. The ultimate gift. Thank you, friend.
Gift.
Yes, y'all, it's quite interesting. We have some guests today. Now, they're not live. You don't see them, but you'll hear them. And we're going to talk about this ultimate gift of life. So, there's a movie out, and we kind of watched it. I love it. And it talks about, it's a movie about a grandfather passing and leaving his inheritance to parts of the family. And the one person is the grandson, who apparently the grandfather really, in my opinion, he really loved this kid, and he hated that he made a lot of mistakes in the process. So he want him to be better than his mom, his dad, his uncles, and even himself. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're gonna just kick it off. We're gonna jump right into it. What did you think of the first part of the movie?
Well, I'm all into the movie. Like, I'm ready to finish watching the movie.
I understand. But what you think about the first part?
I feel like it's really good so far. And I feel like, in my opinion, the grandfather, he made his success. It looks like he started from the bottom and built his way up to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
But looking back, he sees something in his grandson that he wants to pull out of him that he might have missed.
Gotcha. Okay, that sounds good. Well, I want to ask, we have 3 guests here today, and they'll say their name or what they go by if they want you to know that. But we're going to ask our guest number 1, so beautiful and blonde. How do you think the first part of the movie that you saw impacts our society today? Like, what are your thoughts?
Okay. Hi, Shanavelin here. As far as the movie, how does it impact today? It really highlights the family dynamic to, it really drills down to just how real people's lives are when they're well off and have money. And it shows, I think what the grandfather is really illustrating without seeing the rest of the movie. I think the grandfather is really trying to go back and get it right with the next generation, with his grandson, because he see where he has given his children the money and they didn't work and earn their way. So I think he's now trying to highlight this lesson with the grandson to make him earn his way, that he'd be a better person and definitely know how to, manage the money and be well receptive. That's just what I gather from it right now. So as far as today, I think a lot of people who haven't worked for what they got tend to not appreciate it. And I think so far that's what the movie is showing, and some of the lessons that's
good stuff. And even not just like major billionaires, just people who are above that middle class just a little bit, living and giving their kids, and like not making them get a job or just telling them no sometimes. So I think it reflects that, just like you were saying, Shanavelin. Our next guest, Pinstripe, she'll give you her name. She has such a sexy pinstripe dress on. My question for you is this. So I heard a radio show. I heard a guy say, a rapper or a movie star or something, saying he don't feel like we should have to make our kids work for nothing. And he stated, it's been a while, he stated, because white people don't do it, why should I have to, why we got to act like our kids always got to work for it? Why can't we just give them? Based off of this, the beginning of what you've seen, how would you respond to that?
Okay, so I'm Jackie. listening to you guys and just watching the first part of the movie is something that hit me. I think the grandfather is probably putting the grandson through everything he's been through. So, like from the beginning, when his friend said, you know, hey, we worked. His grandfather was a hard worker, and we worked. So, and the friend made him work.
Right.
And then now the grandson has lost everything, and the lawyers, the lawyer was like, everybody has lost something. So, but back to your question, I don't think it's a white, black, anybody of color thing. I think it's how we raising our children and what our expectations are of our children. No, we always want our children to do better than us. We want them to have better than us.
Right.
But we gotta figure out a way to go about doing that so that they'll understand ethics, hard work, integrity.
Yeah, that's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good because I also, and I think I shared with you guys as we were starting the movie, 2 personal stories, one with my sister and one with another chick who worked for some rich people, and they did the exact same thing. They didn't put through the process, but they left their kids, I guess I would say what they felt was worth, or what they felt the parent was worth, because how they plunged their money and used their money when the parent was living, and so the parents didn't leave them all their money. One parent gave his to a foundation because he knew, I don't need nobody to slander my money and not do anything with it, and just tidbit on the biblical side, there's a story where this guy gives 3 people gifts, right? And the one who doesn't do anything with his one gift, he called him a lazy, no good for nothing. So it's like he said, you didn't even take it to the bank and let it draw interest. You did nothing. So if we just give our kids, we're not teaching them anything. If we don't teach them, and so when I heard this radio host, this guy on the radio saying this, I was like, no, I disagree. So I think that's good. So our last guest, the question I have for you, Miss Lady in Blue with the Carolina and Duke. I think that's a mixture of colors. With the part recent where we just left off at, where the grandfather tells him he has to, he says something about his friends. What do you have to say based off this movie and real life about when you have money, your friends, and when you don't?
Oh yeah, I'm Donna, and I think it goes back to, my mom, she was a single parent, but she always told us to be careful about who we hang around, our circle of friends, because everybody is not for you, truly. People are out to use you for what you have and not for, just to be with you. Your true friend will help you out no matter what. But in this story, I think that's a good lesson to learn. That his grandfather's showing him, you're partying with all these people, you're blowing money you didn't earn. And you got a whole lot of friends helping you blow money you didn't earn. So now you in need, and you don't have anybody. You don't have anybody to show you that, that you are a true friend. So I try to instill that same thing in my daughter. Doesn't work all the time, but you can only teach, and what they get, they're going to have to get it the hard way. And that's what his lesson is. Yeah. He's getting it the hard way. So.
Yeah, good. Because, it is, and that's regardless whether you got big money or no money. You have to be careful who, and one of the lessons, and I think I heard this from a mutual friend in a conversation, and they were saying, you really can be paying attention to that, because if you're the person that's always giving, and some people are just flat out givers, but you still, at the end of the day, you do want to receive sometimes. You want to feel valued. So it's like me and Jackie used to work, together, and she used to always say, "Girl, I don't cook, right?" And I was just like, this chick really don't cook because she orders every day. I was just like, and then she worked for CMS, so we know she ain't making no billions. But I'm like, you know what? She's a good budgeter. She know how to invest. She must invest her money. She's single. Her kids are grown. She didn't like to cook. So Now I was on a budget, so I couldn't be purchasing food. But when I cook, and since I've been told I'm a good cook,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
if y'all didn't
So-
know, she is.
I would sometimes bring her something, and the joy of her, when I see her eating it or whatever, and she's talking about, girl, that was good or whatever. That was me giving back, and not that she expected it out of me. It was just, what can I do for her sometimes,
Right.
or she having a rough day. It may not be food, it may be something else. But everybody, we should be in a give and receive. And people hear the story of, the Bible says it's better to give than to receive.
Right.
But eventually you're going to be on the receiving line.
Right.
If we all live by that, it would circle around, So I believe that this is so pertinent till today for especially our young generation. I see some kids, and even in our day, and all of us are different age groups, but you have people who clock to you for something. It could have been in school. You got this one boy, he always befriending you because he want his homework done. Just mooching. That's what my mama used to say. Don't be letting nobody mooch off of you all the time. And so in this movie, that's what they were doing. He had the money. His credit card was unlimited. Don't y'all wish we had one of them? Well, it was unlimited. You just spend, and so
Yes, indeed.
then the girlfriend,
Oh, that.
what you think about that? The girlfriend.
Well,
Just get her.
first of all, when I'm looking at the beginning of the movie and the granddaddy had millions and the grandson was spending millions, looked like the way he was living on with an $8,000 paint job on a car. He done got the girlfriend some things and some gifts and stuff. For her not to say, okay, babe, we'll put some on this card and I got a little cash and let me call somebody, see if they can help us. I was just floored. I mean, I know she ain't have
Didn't she leave?
She walked down and left from there.
And then she put this the part that got me. You're asking me to pay? That's where there's certain words I don't use, and I don't think you should, but I think it plugs right there.
Right, yeah.
You've been up in my penthouse, living the life,
Yeah.
eating all my food, drinking the bit. As a matter of fact, this bottle, he just said, people don't even order it because it's so expensive.
Right.
The gifts I bought you, everything I bought you, and I'm on a little rocky road. I just lost my grandpa.
Right.
Trying to figure out where my inheritance is coming from. What's going to happen?
And you
And
was
you-
staying there too. I mean, because half your wardrobe was at his house. So I just
Yeah, that floored me too.
On me to not be able to. So
Yeah.
when you're down, he ain't got nobody.
Just stay down. So,
Nobody.
do y'all think that happens in, of course we don't have millions. If y'all do, you can just throw me a little thousand. Yeah, just little thousands.
Exactly.
But even today, like, do y'all think you ever, or have anybody ever had a friend where you had to sit back and say, this heifer don't never have money to go out? Every time we go out, she's talking about, oh girl, I ain't got it. You got it?
Oh yeah.
For real?
Oh yeah. I've had friends like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
but I mean, but taking trips, taking trips. But when we go out, you don't never have money to pay for you. No, I got family like that. Yeah,
And
those
I
ones I
say-
stay away from.
Yeah. I said that because I remember, I think it was my niece and them. They went on a trip, and I think some friends, and I didn't go, but I remember my niece saying, every place, oh no, I don't have anything. You came on a whole trip. I want to say it was like Vegas. And of course, now you with us in Vegas, and we eating, and you're like, well, no, I'm just gonna get a little. And then she said, went from that to every other place. And she said, I was picking up the tab. I'm like, yeah, that's a conversation. And so my niece told me, yeah, it happened. Soon as we landed back into the city, I let her know straight up. don't ever come nowhere with me because, well, no, I thought he was going to send them, cash at me when we got there. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have thought. You should have had money with you because suppose something, regardless, that's just mooching, as my mom would say. Yeah. So how do we help our children with something? Well, no, let's not even just the friend part. Let's just go back to how do we. Well, all of our kids are grown, so we really, if we taught them, we too late. No, we're not. We can always go back. But what can we suggest to people about this lesson for their children? Like, free. Go ahead.
Oh, let them earn it. I mean, as kids, you start them out with chores, giving them allowances, but you have to let them earn it and stop giving them everything. I mean, I know earlier you said, people with, millions or whatever, and how they give to their kids. No, because I work in a system where these people ain't got millions, but they give everything to their kids. They buy them Jordans, and these kids don't even have to come home with good grades or even have to try. They don't have to try. They just gonna give it to them. I'm a parent now that just keep rewarding him. He gets yellows in his behavior chart, but you bring him Chick-fil-A on Fridays. Why? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
You're not letting them earn anything. You're going to keep giving, and it just gets worse as they get older.
Because I have encountered people, and that's my thought. Like, you was just telling me last week how the child grade was bad, and then you had this getting smart. And I had a conversation one time with a chick, and this is what she told me, no lie. She was like, well, I mean, I have to dress my child. I don't want my child looking any kind of way. Baby, you don't have to spend $200 sneakers to not look any kind of way.
Right.
Let's take it back. I remember my daughter tells the time. But my daughter will tells my granddaughter about when they were young and the boys want a pair of sneakers, and she would think about how much she got to get her shoes, say we're getting ready for school, and she would go to Payless and get her multiple pairs of little cute shoes.
Right.
My mom, we go to Payless and I get all the cute, and I got about 5 or 6 where they got one.
Right.
But guess what? So Surfing come tell me, oh, you're unfit because you got on shoes from Payless.
Or Kmart.
Or whatever. They're clean.
Right.
Whatever. And yes, I bought nice stuff too, but there were in the summertime, I'm not going buy clothes out the stores for the summertime for the kids to be running around and getting dirty, because that's what I want you to do. I want you guys playing in the dirt or doing something with yourself. So I think we really and that's kind of why I really wanted us to see this movie. And guys, all of our listeners and viewers, please check out The Ultimate Gift, The Ultimate Life, and The Ultimate Legacy, because it's a process to this movie, but it enlightens your eyes of understanding about how we really need to teach our young people this process, just like Donna said, chores, and even guess what? I'd be like, now that's a chore, but I don't have to give you an allowance for doing the chore because you sleep here.
Right.
You live here. You eat. Come on. You got heat when it's cold.
You got Wi-Fi.
Oh, come on now.
That's a big one.
You got Wi-Fi. That's big. Oh no. What about? You got Netflix, Hulu, Dulu, Stars, all of that. You can watch different stuff. And then you won't have an attitude when I ask you to do something.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's really gonna horn down on principles, and it's like one big lesson, and there's so many other mini lessons, humility and teaching, the morals and values.
She done woke up.
Right.
She talking good stuff now.
Right.
Come on.
Right. It's what's important. So I think it's a lot of mini lessons in this movie.
And not just for our kids, but mostly for the parents who teach our children and for ourselves. Sometimes we be getting a little stank, every now and again. But it's like, sometimes I just tell myself, you know what? I might can't go buy the $200 shoes I want, but I mean, go look in the closet, baby. You got for the pickings.
Exactly.
Right. Wish your foot wasn't so little.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm thankful that I got a roof over my head. 52 days out of work and didn't miss a meal. Could have missed a couple. Looked like I ate more then.
I know I eat more now as the coworker friend is at work, but I
Okay, really? You
I
think
thank you.
See, you starting mess. See, they starting mess.
Yeah.
Well, and
Well,
she never was
they
like,
say-
well, I ain't even close by. I don't get the meals. What y'all say? Hold on, wait a minute. But that's why we do the safe huddle. You come to safe huddle. So now y'all know. Y'all be talking about.
Right.
You want us to bring something? I enjoy cooking for my kids until I don't. Cause then if you get tired, and I'm sure one day I'll probably be like, one of y'all want to pick this up? But since it's once a month, see, I'll be excited. So
Right. I had to go to New Orleans for the meals for several years before.
anyway, back on the show, folks.
Yeah. Oh, but I know what I was gonna say though. I was thinking about other cultures. Like somebody was saying something about Black African American people and make their kids work, whatever. But other cultures now, when you go to the nail salon or go somewhere, the baby be in there. They might be playing, but sometimes they get a little broom and sweep. They learn it early that oh, my mama and daddy got this nail salon, and I'm learning how to help work. So when I get grown, I know what to do, so I can have my own.
Yep, that's right.
Teaching the principles early because you need it.
Yeah,
You
and you
need
know
to
what?
know what to do.
But we used to do that. Our culture. Remember back in the day in the barbershop, they tell Shanevelyn, bring that boy over here, make him a little change and sweep up the hair in the barbershop.
Right,
What happened
right.
to us? And Shanevelyn is a what's the real title?
Cosmetologist.
Oh, cosmetologist. And this has been my baby since she first started. But I remember she had my daughter to work in there, but she had to fire her because she went up to people's face. She didn't last. I think she lasted one day. But she tried. She tried to help my daughter out, give her a little job to just rinse, be the rinser. She didn't ran the girl clients away. So yeah, she got fired. But we used to do that back in the day. You hear back in the day when grandma and them, they had their little restaurant or whatever, and they have the kids after school, you got to come up in and help and do this dough or whatever.
Yeah,
What happened to that, y'all? What's wrong with us?
My baby.
My boys did that.
He had a lot raking leaves.
He used to throw the newspaper until I'm tired of driving.
It was too early in the morning.
It was too early. That boy's
4:30.
everywhere on the people on.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a true story. I started working when I was 9, honestly, and that's when the Jerry curls were out, and so the lady that used to do my hair lived next door to me, and so I would go and help her clean her house, and she would do my hair. And that's the
Barber
arrangement her and my,
system.
her and my mother had.
Yeah.
So I was getting my hair done, but I was working for it at the age of 9. So
And my daughter, she wasn't that young because I was about to say, hey, you young, you started working younger than me. I was 13, but I worked at the hospital. I started off her job. But my daughter, her too, growing up in Fayetteville, she was, she cleaned the, it was a general. Used to go clean this house, and I'd be sitting there, while she doing. She was working. She had to be like 12. Yeah, and then in New Orleans, when she went there, she was babysitting for a police officer. She had a little gig. And I have to admit, my granddaughter, she an entrepreneur. She does hair, braids, and those things. She be having her little clients. She had one last night. And she even has some adult clients, So she started her little entrepreneur thing. So she does that. And, but it's like, it's a lot of kids who don't. And their parents are okay with that. Bad enough, they're not able to they don't even hang outside no more. It's either the computer, the phone, or the game. And so then they're not working. You hear parents say, all I do for you, boy, I bought you that. You better, you don't do nothing. What you mean you don't do nothing? You don't have no job. You don't
athletic.
Nothing around the house.
We just have it all wrong. I don't know. Are y'all familiar with the Asian culture on how they do their kids?
Well, that's what she was talking about a little bit about the shop.
But I'm not sure. Oh, when they go to the store and stuff?
Well, no, just from the beginning. So from the beginning, they spend, their children spend their first 5 years learning everything from making their bed, how to dress, their hygiene. They don't do any school instruction. They learn family, honor, respect. They learn their morals and values and all of that.
Right.
When they start school, they are disciplined.
Yeah.
They are disciplined. They go to school to learn. But all the other stuff that, just simple hygiene and how to be, they learn that from up to the age of 5.
Yeah.
There's nothing but learning those values, and then they go to school and learn instruction.
Yeah.
And they seem to have it right. We need to take a page out of
That's
their
true,
book.
because
Our culture.
that's something like a lot of kids you find today don't have that. They don't have that mannerism at 5. I get excited when I see my grandson. He's 5 and he's mannerable. He's excused. He pick up his mama, make him pick up behind himself. And fix your bed, straighten your bed up, put your pillows up, put your shoes up, hang your jacket up. When he come home from school, she does do those instructions. And you're right, because I see a lot of kids, I help get out the car, and they're trying to put the jacket on. They don't even know how to put their jacket on, and they're going to school now, right? You're in kindergarten. He's in pre-K, or their shoelaces are. But living over in Germany and had friends from different ethnic groups, I remember them talking about, and it might have been the Asians, like the dating. It was about the dating process. How over in America we let kids in junior high date. Oh no, ain't no dating. Not even through high school.
Yeah.
That's after the fact. It's
That's
about
18.
getting your education, and that's why they come over here and blow us out the box in education.
Right.
They're smarter than us. They way above us, and so we really have to sit back and look at that. And I mean, you would think, and don't get me wrong, we have a lot of smart people now. I'm not knocking everybody. This is not everybody, because the ladies in here are pretty darn smart, okay?
Yes,
But there's a percentage of us that are in trouble, and it's a big percentage, and it's getting worse and worse. And even when we're talking about the ultimate gift, we got all of these people who are obtaining riches, but the lifestyle with it, it's like that's all it's about. It's about the money, the power, and I got it. Yeah, and you're prideful, and you're ungrateful, and you're nasty to people, and you're, so.
You forget that blessing.
Yeah, you forget those principles, as Ms. Shanevin was talking about. Yeah.
And I think another thing is, I know when my kids were young, they watched their grandfather work and do different things and help people. And there came a time when he got sick, and one of his jobs, not that it was all for the pay, but for the glory of God, he cleaned up our family church every Saturday. And I went from little girl and helped, and then when he got sick, and I said, oh man, your granddaddy's sick and the church needs to be clean. Oh, Ma, we'll help you go clean the church. I ain't have to beg them.
Yeah.
Because they had seen him do those things, and they thought it was important. Sometimes our kids don't see people around them working and doing things because we so caught up on giving them stuff, and they in front of the TV and on the computer, they're not
And
seeing
I don't want
other things.
Y'all be
I don't
hearing
want to.
I don't want to.
feel like it. I'm
I
tired.
hear that now. I hear that now.
18.
That's
I don't
it.
want to.
You don't have to want to. You
I'm
going
asking
to.
you. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
I'm not asking you. And that's what's the problem these days. These kids have way too many options. No, you don't have an option. If I gotta feed you, you're gonna do it.
Exactly.
Not
That's
when you
it.
want
Point
to.
blank period.
Our father recorded. He got back, and he was standing in his son's room, and he was taking the door off the hinge. And the son was like, Dad, what you doing? He said, yeah, so your mom had told me.
Oh,
And so he was talking through it real calm too. And I remember we took the door off. You remember? My ex-husband took the door off, And so he took the door, but he was so calm. And this is what I loved about it. He was having a conversation. They were showing the son and the dad. He must have had mom recording it. And he said, yeah, your mom called me because he was out of town. He said, that's why I cut my trip short.
Right. See, that's
Because
a good
Because you
parent.
was talking, you was talking to my wife. And he didn't say your mom. He only said your mom the first time. Your mother told me. And then everything else was how you was talking to my wife. He kept pointing that out. My wife. And he took it, and then he started telling them about what he paid. And he said, so what bills you pay? Because you told my wife. And I watched the whole thing, and I think I commented, that's the kind of husband all of us should be praying for.
Yeah.
See,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
I'm going to call my daddy.
Mm.
And even if
Right.
you're not the husband, that's the mother of your child.
Right.
You're gonna respect her. And I've heard over life some men who no, I show up because my son not gonna disrespect his mom. You know, we may not be together. That didn't work out, but that's still his mom. And she a good mom. Just because we didn't work out don't mean you bad in every area.
Right.
And see, that's what we need to stand up about. Like, let's call it what it is. And so basically it's just sticking to what is true and what is not.
Right.
And yes and no. And these kids have too much, like, we have a right. What? And I have a right. I have a right to smack the piss out of you. Yes, I said it. Right in the kisser. If you gonna walk around my house and tell me what you not gonna do.
Right.
And so then I can't, then I can't even do the ultimate gift for you. I just can't leave you nothing.
Right.
You just
the
gonna-
first
you get the
person in
pig.
the story. Since you ain't care nothing about it, we gonna
When
let
I was
everybody else keep their position and
Exactly. We gonna manage you, so you don't get. It's not yours. You get to still be a little comfortable, but I can't even give it all to you. You know.
Right.
And so, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted us to kind of talk about that. Anybody got any last remarks about? We're just saying, you know, this. Check out The Ultimate Gift. It should inspire you to make changes, because even if you're not on that path that far gone, but it inspire you to make changes and see that, you know, a lot of the stuff we do is really not even worth it. What is important is loving on people, being there, comforting, making sure we fed, you know, being there when people going through grief.
Right.
Just being a friend, you know. And that's for all people, and especially the household of faith, because you don't have to, I don't have to say now scripture. If I can show love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control.
Spirit.
That right there. If we can show those things to one another, that is the ultimate gift to me. So we thank y'all for listening and watching Reflections of Work with our special, amazing, beautiful guests.
Yes.
And I hope they'll just let me get one quick picture of us, because they're so beautiful and they're so wonderful and they were so great. This was a perfect topic. Thank you, ladies.
On here some
Donna, I know, Jackie and Shanevelin.
Yes.
And of course, I always send a shout out to my bestie and my co-host, Miss Get Up. She getting up now, y'all, too. She getting up.
Yes.
So,
Reflections of Work.